Here's my Daffy Duck impression. It's it's a hip 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 pita 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 fee pita 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 fee pita pita mina mate. That's all, folks. That's all I got, folks. Okay, butthead. Uh, why don't you simmer yourself down before you like crop yourself? and then Trump, Donald Trump. You fired. You fired. What? Boy, if I'm gonna do a Trump impersonation, I better act smart. I better be smart. You're fired. You're fired. You fired. You fired. You fired, man. You fired. Get out of here, man. Okay. Daffy Duck, Butthead, and Trump all in one makes makes for a trans transistor receiver. Really? Transistor receiver. Here it is. Daffy Duck, Butthead, and Donald Trump in one. Ready? You better get out of here. Pedal, right? Right. I I never heard anything so ridiculous in my entire life. So ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Oh, it's so, it's so ridiculous. Does that sound more like ridiculous? like, like, uh, I think you should just kick his ass. uh, well, well, I kick his ass. I kick his ass right now if I could freaking this guy's like if I like wouldn't like get in trouble over it. I know that I'd be like getting in trouble if I kicked this guy's ass over here. So that's just that's just preposterous. It's a preposterous. Hi, welcome to this episode of Credence for War. We just want to try to make sense and understand why we're not invading more countries more often. Because obviously, whenever we don't invade them, we're paying them, shelling them out uh, lavishly. Dictatorships and other forms of government that have neglected their people and up to this point have private industries, not just our own American governments and other compassionate governments, say using government funds to shell out for food and uh, whatever people need in third world countries, why they haven't come up to our standard of living and our um, where we're at, basically. Over here, I don't think is America's fault. I think that it's their country's fault for that. And I'm not saying, like, I'm not arguing to stop paying them. I just think it's kind of doesn't make very much sense. Instead of invading them, you want to pay them their countries and kind of paying people to be bad. It's kind of like almost like right now there's a a slave trade going on, and instead of going to war and defeating these people and just killing them for for human rights violations, we go and we buy. We've sent people like an ambassador or something like type of like person to go and they're saying it's a peaceful way to do it. And I've always strongly objected to doing that, and I think that that's illegal. Here recently, the president of America made it legal for us to barter and negotiate and pay terrorists. So now families are starting to object, and they're saying, object to us trying to object to him doing that. They put some families on, and what they said was now they can pay the ransoms for some of their family members that they weren't allowed to before it was considered treason if they did. So um, we're weighing in too, and I think that it considerably is paying terrorists or bad people to be more bad. So it doesn't help the situation out any. It makes the situation worse because they were going to make that money anyways with with the terrorists in particular that are selling African black Africans from Africa basically today. Um, so instead of going and killing the terrorists and then helping the people out in their own country to establish a means where they can protect themselves, like a military, at least arm themselves enough to keep bad people at bay. At least they can protect themselves. That I think that it's a bad idea to pay them and not go head to head with them militarily. Seeing my U.S. military kind of be depleted, I still have a lot of confidence and faith in them. I just don't believe that their numbers should be dwindled down. I think that they should, up to this point, with the population and everything else, I think our military should be maybe have more people in it than it's had before up to this point because we're not going back in time, we're going forward in time. So it's kind of, I'd say, silly kind of liberals to want to take away from our military and not stop, and not pressure terrorists other ways and arm people if they need to be armed and support people who basically have democracies, or have civilizations like ours. They're our allies or whatever. It's a bad idea to kind of act like they're not our friends. And then that's what our president has done for the last 7 years. So he got on it right away, basically tearing down our relationship with our allies and building up what he thinks is trust with our enemies. So, um, so adopting those children. So should we look at adopting all those poor kids you see on television that they're like saying feed the children and all that? They should just be adopted by everybody left and right. And everybody should just consider adopting a child and raising it the best that we can. It's a lot better than depending on where somebody else with their money, not knowing exactly what's going to happen, who's going to manipulate it, and who it'll actually feed. These people keep being starved where they don't have um, well pumps and whatnot and other resources where they're taught how to survive. I don't know, but so that's my credence for war. It's not a bad thing. People want to act like like it's not necessary or there's no need for it when obviously if we're not out in the world um, pushing what we believe in and how we live, then obviously somebody else is going to. So I don't know who people think is going to be out there when we withdraw our troops and our presence in the world. So I just wanted to share that idea and philosophy of why I have such credence for war. I agree with it. Yeah, so Sir Colum, how's it go? Chilling. New going on or anything exciting? Anything you want to talk about? Called me up the other day.
He's black. And he's all, "What's up, my nigga?" And I was just wondering, is when they say nigga, is that like the same as like if anybody were to say Negro instead of nigga? Negro. But anyways, so I'm like, "What's up, my nigga?" And the dude was like surprised what I said. So what do I do? I'm like in a lose situation. He calls me it, and then I say it, thinking like, what the heck? And then he's like, at me. So I don't know. So I'm gonna go by the name Pilgrim. Pilgrims, they like are true Puritan like Christians, and they don't believe in testing the waters of slavery and stuff like that with any human being. So I'm a pilgrim. I want to be called Pilgrim from now on. So no more N words, okay? Just expressing what happened.